Guys, I would just like to say this, and I think that's worth saying. This is your first time watching this episode, but we just shot this whole thing to a camera that was not recording.
Not recording.
So that's how smart we are. But listen to us anyway, because I promise we'll say some stuff that's going to really matter on today's episode of The Singer Show.
Alright, so what we're going to talk about today is stage fright. Okay? Another term could be performance anxiety.
Yes.
There may be some other terms as well, but stage fright, performance anxiety, we're clumping all that in together. Now, the reason why this hits close to home for me, so close, kick my door down, sleep in my bed, wake up like, who are you? You're my mate tonight, I guess, every night, is the reason is because I've dealt with this before, like heavily. Stage fright was something that really prevented me from showing the world what I could really do on stage. And it's so frustrating because you know that you have the talent, you know that you have the skill, and you're excited to share your craft with everyone, whether you're a musician, you play, or you sing, and then you get on stage, everything that you've been practicing for, you know, everything that you've been training for, you get on stage and it falls apart because of stage fright. And basically, it's your nerves taking over. And some of the symptoms that I had is that my mouth, for one, would get really dry. I hated that. Right, exactly. And especially as a singer, you know, I would feel like my high notes were about to be restricted, my clarity restricted, and I couldn't really show all that great technique I thought I had. That's one thing. I feel my hands would kind of get sweaty a little bit. Now, that's not so bad in the sense of my hands getting sweaty because it's not like I'm touching people. But I know that your hands, for some people, can shake. They can vibrate. And if you gotta hold the mic,
I got a story.
Right. Yes, here we go. Story.
If I may share. One of the most embarrassing moments ever of my singing life is when I was in junior high school. I was in 8th grade, and I was auditioning for the choir for a solo to because they made it open to all 8th graders. It was like our 8th grade promotional activities. You know, it's the fake ass graduation. You know, like it's not a real graduation, but you're going from 8th to 9th grade. So anyway, we were singing R. Kelly's "I Believe I Could Fly," and I got up and I grabbed the microphone,
right.
You know, made by Comcast, and I was so nervous when I looked around and saw all these students looking at me because it was like an open audition. My hand began to shake, and as the more I tried to keep it still, the worse it began to shake, and I could not control my body. It was so frustrating. And the thing is, if you know the song, the second verse is like, "See, I was on the verge of breaking down," whatever. What came out for me was, the choir director, she started laughing so hard that tears began to come out of her eyes and stream down her face, and she had to excuse herself from the class, and she couldn't control herself. And she laughed so hard that it sobered up the other students. Now, you know it's bad when high school students stop laughing at you because they're like, "Wow, that's mean." Right. You know, they couldn't even laugh anymore. She apologized later, but it was humiliating. And it's like, in my mind, I was like, I know I could sing this by myself. When I was alone in my room, I could do it.
Right.
But in front of everybody, nothing would come out.
Right. And that's the most, well, I won't say that's the most disheartening part about it.
It's frustrating.
But that is very frustrating when you know you can do it. You know, you sing on your own with no one around and you sound great. Well, you think you sound great, but sometimes we do sound great. But the whole point is, and actually, it's not even about how you sound per se, it's about how you feel. You know, you feel comfortable. So why is it that once you get in front of people that we start to get extremely nervous, and that's when everything starts to fall apart. So I've been there before, and it's more than butterflies. It's just like, you know, you have a rhinoceros running through your stomach, you know, up into your throat or whatever, and it's so hard to concentrate. And it can really affect your psyche not just as a performer, but as a person. You know, why is it that I cannot stand in front of these people and do what I love to do the most? You know, what does it mean? And you'll start to question yourself. You'll start to wonder, should you even be singing? And I don't know if I've told too many people before, but there was a time where I had to sit down and I considered if being a singer is something that I should take out of my dreams, you know, or take out of my goals. Because how am I going to be a performer if I get too nervous and you're not even getting my best anyhow? You know, if you're not, then there's no use. I'll do something else. And so, luckily, thank God I'm not there anymore. But I have been there. So if you're there, I don't just sympathize, I empathize
now,
with you.
You're not there anymore.
No.
What brought you out of that?
A whole bunch of stuff. I think the one huge thing, and this is where I needed to start, is that I had to have confidence in my ability. I had to believe and love my singing and my performing.
It sounds so simple, but that's really important.
It is, because if you're not confident in your own self, then why would we expect anyone else to be confident in you as well? You know.
That's a good point.
So I had to love who I was as a person and love who I was as a singer and as a performer. And once I got to that place, then I wasn't so paranoid about, are people going to like this or they're not going to like it. I loved it, and I knew that there would be somebody else who would get with me. And so that was the first step. Knowing your material. Actually, let me back up. Even before knowing your material, be on top of your technique.
Right.
Okay? Really know your technique. Singers, vocalize. Make sure that your voice is in great condition.
Whatever.
Okay, yeah. Make sure that your voice is in great condition, so that's not keeping you from at least having a successful performance. All right, so number one, like I said, having confidence in yourself. Number two, making sure that you're up on your technique and you're practically flawless or the best that you can be. And then number three, knowing your material, because that can make you nervous as well. If you get on stage and you know you didn't practice.
What I hate hearing singers say is, if it's a good day, I can hit a certain note. If on a good day. But otherwise,
you know what I say to that?
I see people say all the time in church, like old church says, on a good day, I can sing. If you're on, that's part of what makes people nervous is when you don't know what's going to come out. It's that uncertainty, because you're like, these notes that I have to sing, will I be able to sing them? But if you know, through having harnessed, and honed your technique, and really knowing how to control your voice, if you can be certain that what's coming out is what you intend, it takes a lot of that fear out of the window and all that dreading the high notes. You don't have to worry about that.
It does. And a matter of fact, and when you know your material so well, it's almost like your body goes into like
autopilot.
Thank you, autopilot. You know what I mean? It's like you're going through the emotions. Not that you're not connected. You are connected. You're emotionally connected. You're technically connected, but your body just goes into it because you practice and you know what you're doing.
Speaking of practice, can you talk about practicing the performance?
Practicing the performance. I had to sing at Eric's birthday bash last year in October sometime, and I didn't just listen to my songs and kind of mumble through them, or even just sing a song, stop, and then go to the next song. I did the whole performance in my basement. And I'm talking about, I spoke to the crowd that was not there. I said my name and everything. I had it set up. I thought about what I was going to say in between the songs. Not saying that you got to be so analytical and everything has to be doom, doom, doom. But all I'm saying is go through the entire performance at home so that you feel comfortable and it's not a big shock when you get on stage. That whole thing about, oh nah, it's all cool. When I get on stage, it'll come together. No.
Not in real life.
That is not. I've done that before, and guess what? I failed over and over again.
It doesn't work.
It does not work.
It's disorienting when you walk up there and you see the people and the light hits you. If you need to have established that autopilot programming in your body, because if you think, I'll just half-assly do it now, then when I get up on stage, it's bound to work out for the best. It does not work like that. Every note, every action, and I do think. Talk to that imaginary audience in your room. Everything you're gonna do, how you're gonna walk up, your body movements, do it how you are really gonna do it. Because it will make a difference, and you'll feel silly doing this by yourself or in front of one or two people if you have like a friend or a family member who's gonna listen. But it is worth it.
It's worth it.
It's all to the worth it.
All to the worth it.
All to the worth it.
Another thing, put yourself out there. Like go do some karaoke. I always want to say karaoke. Is that even a word? I don't think it is, y'all.
I love that though.
Yeah.
Let's go karaoke.
Yeah. So go do some karaoke. Okay? Because even though now karaoke is at most times is a much more relaxed atmosphere, but that's okay. Because if you struggle with stage fright, then that's still going to be a challenge. But that's what I did, and it helped. I did that. And another thing I did, I had my friends like Eric, Tina B, Kiana, the whole collective. I would tell them that I had an audition the next day or I had a performance. And could I sing for them and sing the song? And that's another way of just putting yourself out there. You have to do it to get better at it. Okay? So keep that in mind as well.
So if you could leave them with one final thought, one like just diamond of truth or something that they can use to get them started in the right direction? Any particular book or any particular technique that you haven't mentioned already or that you want to reemphasize? What would it be?
Okay, the re-emphasizing would be believe in yourself. Okay, that's where it starts. I mean, just think about it. When you are confident in who you are, then it's going to be very difficult for any external presence to shake that. Okay, because you're going to be firm in it. So believe in yourself. Know who you are, and go out there and show us. So that's the first part. The second part, there is a website. I hope I say it right. I think it's hypnosisdownloads.com.
We'll look it up and put it in the thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll do that, right. And basically, they have some files, like self-help files, that deal with overcoming stage fright, overcoming performance anxiety. And basically, it'll be a speaker, and they'll just give you affirmations about, knowing how great you are, knowing that you're able to do it. And then they'll also do some creative stuff with colors and scenery. I don't want to give too much, but it's great. It relaxes you. And I still listen to it now, at times to calm me down or just to re-emphasize that what I'm about to do as a performer. And so between those two things, that has been a major help for me to no longer suffer from stage fright. Do I still get nervous? Of course, everybody does. And sometimes you need that edge to kind of stay in the moment, and that's a good thing. But now I get on stage and I know what I can do. And it's not arrogance, but I just believe it. And I believe it so much that I think that you guys would enjoy it as well. And so I no longer see the audience as trying to, let's see what he's going to do. He's probably going to suck. Even though some people might, but that doesn't matter. I now see I'm bringing people into my world, and so share it with me, and let's have some fun. So
that's good. To not assume that your audience is hostile.
Right?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody going to throw them tomatoes.
Right.
Ain't nobody. Yes, that's what I said. Ain't nobody going to throw no tomatoes.
I bring my tomatoes from home. Check out the vocalist of the week, and we'll see you again next week.
Take it easy, guys.
I'm the one who lost you. Everybody says we're through. Well, I hope you haven't said it too. So where do we go from here with all this fear in our eyes? And where can love take us now? We've been so far down, we can still touch the sky if we crawl. Until we walk again, then we'll run. Until we're strong enough to jump, then we'll fly. Until there is no wind, so let's crawl, crawl, crawl. Back to love, yeah. Back to love, yeah. Back to love.